Gourmet retail store in Chapel Hill. Really nice place if you haven't been there. They could use a bigger North Carolina wine section. But so tell people what the price on this bottle of wine is and kind of why you picked it out.
Okay. Well, this Silk Hope wine, it's called Red Roots, and it normally retails for $12.50. But Southern Season was having a wine sale, and so I picked up this bottle for $10.62, which sounds like a real good price. And the reason I picked it was Silk Hope is located in Pittsboro, just south of Chapel Hill, and we wanted to try some wines from wineries a little closer to us. I saw that it was not available in any of the big chain stores, and I was looking for an excuse to go to Southern Season, and I saw it was available there.
Sounds good. Well, let's take a quick look at the packaging.
Okay.
And then we'll talk a little bit about the composition of the wine. So what do you think of the packaging, Jeff?
Well, it appears to be a pretty standard green color wine bottle, and it has the indentation, or the punt as you call it, down at the bottom, which I think you have said before is an indication of a higher quality glass
Slightly
bottle.
higher quality. The deeper the punt, normally the higher quality glass of the bottle. So this is pretty good packaging from a bottle perspective. Label, logo, what do you think?
The label seems to be pretty straightforward. It looks like just a standard rectangular wraparound label, and there's a little bit of information on it. The logo, it tries
like
to
a family crest.
That's
kind of
right,
thing.
a family crest, giving it sort of a regal look.
It could use a refresh.
Yeah.
The logo isn't standing out to me on this wine. What does stand out to me, Jeff, are two things. One, this Red Roots red wine here from Silk Hope Vineyards is a 2004. So this is an older wine. And wines, as they age, they evolve in their flavor profile, and then the tannin structure. You know that dryness that you get on the sides of your mouth when you drink wine. That kind of decreases over time as well. So this tells me that this wine should have a softer mouthfeel and finish than maybe a wine that was made in 2007 or 2008. And Jeff, the other neat thing is that this wine is a blend of three really interesting grapes, ones that I don't know a whole lot about, and I thought that's part of the reason that it attracted it.
Right.
The wine attracted you is because of that it was a blend and a different type of blend.
That's right. And we, back in episode 4, we tried a Cabernet Franc from Shelton Vineyards, which we really liked.
We really did.
And this blend has a little bit of the Cabernet Franc grape in it.
5% Cabernet Franc.
That's right. And it has two other grapes that we really don't know a whole lot about. That's right.
So 25% Touriga, and then it is 70% Chambourchin. Yeah, when you get in the wine world, that's you know why a lot of people don't drink wine? Because it's intimidating to pronounce the shit that's on the bottle. I mean, let's be honest, especially when you get into French wines and everything. So here, we're going to do our best job, just like we know that you would, because again, we're not pretending to know the end all and be all, but we just want to share what we're learning with you guys.
And if you know how to pronounce these grapes, or you have experience with these grapes,
drop us a comment below.
That's right, or send us an email.
Contact, yes.
Facebook.
These shiny bottles. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, everything right over here. We like all that stuff. And if you want to get these shows in your email, just drop your email in the little box over here on the left, and it'll send you an email every time we update and post a show.
That sounds
good. Jeff, you want to get into this wine?
Sure.
Okay.
We've already poured it.
And again, don't pour your wine glasses too high. If you pour too much wine in your wine glass, you can't get the spin. And the spin is what tells you the flavor and gives you a good look at the wine. So, you know, looking at the wine and smelling the wine isn't pretentious, isn't wine geekiness. It's, you know, you've invested money in something and you're trying to get the enjoyment out of it. So, first of all, I just want to see what it looks like. And it looks, you know, has a nice ruby, red, purple kind of color to it.
That's right, a dark, rich red.
Some deep, some legs. You'll see some strings of wine that kind of fall back down the glass. I don't. There are people that feel like you can read alcohol content and stuff from that. I don't get a lot of that from the legs, but I think it's more important to look at the color, and you can kind of see what the body of the wine looks like. This looks like kind of a medium-bodied wine. You want to give it a smell?
Sure.
What are you getting, Jeff?
Well, I'm going to cheat because I know you have said earlier that this has a strong oak.
There's a strong oak component to this. And what is sitting on top of that oak? There's some other flavors that I'm concerned about the oak level in this wine. It smells very woody on the nose.
Right.
What else is residing with the oak?
Well, again, I'm going to cheat. And you have already told me that Whoop.
I sloshed the wine too much, guys. See, that's what happens when you fill up the wine too much.
Yeah, too much wine. There is some of that vegetal flavor, the green pepper.
Because it has Cabernet Franc, and
Cabernet
if you looked
Franc,
at
that's
episode 5, the Shelton Vineyards
4.
Cabernet Franc, episode 4, sorry, episode 5's Biltmore Estate, you'll notice that the Cabernet Franc has a lot of vegetable characteristics. I'm also getting, Jeff, a slight bit of coffee smell, and I think
Okay.
that may be a side effect from the oak or something, but it
Okay.
smells kind of like coffee to me. Just ever so slightly. You want to give this a try? See what it
Sure.
tastes like. I have an immediate reaction. What's yours?
You have an immediate reaction.
Yep. What is yours?
You're putting me on the spot.
I'm getting the wine off.
Okay, you're getting the wine off you. You'll have to help me through this.
Okay, my immediate reaction was I thought it was wine kind of has a hill to it,
Okay.
and I thought it's going down the hill. I think it is a little past its prime in terms of age.
Okay.
It's a little flat on in terms of
Okay.
flavor. I mean, it's not completely downhill,
Right.
but it would have. I feel like this could have been a remarkably better wine a year or two ago.
Okay.
What do you? What are you feeling about the flavor and the?
From a flavor standpoint, it does not have a very strong flavor.
That's why I think it's kind of downhill. The oak that I smelled on the nose, I don't really get a lot of it. I mean, there's some. I kind of get it around.
Yeah.
There's some like oaky coffee kind of notes after as a finish, really.
And a little bit of almost bitterness.
Yes, there is a little bit of bitterness on the finish. I'm not getting those vegetables that we really like from the Cabernet Franc, that we really like from the Shelton Vineyards. Those vegetables aren't here on the flavor profile. And any fruit that was there is kind of gone. And I think it's because it's an older bottle of wine.
Right.
I really want to try. We will seek out the Silk Cope Winery folks, and we will get their most recent vintage of this and give it a try, because there's some stuff there that makes me think it could be a really interesting wine. That just this bottle particularly is kind of over the hump in terms of its freshness and the age that these grapes can withstand to be held in bottle.
That's right. And so this is a perfect example of what we're trying to do with this show. We walk into a store just like you do and pick a bottle of wine based on any number of factors.
Right.
And I wanted to try this blend. And this was the vintage that was on the shelf.
Right.
And it may not be the best time to try this wine. So as Kip said, we're going to seek out a more recent vintage.
We will get a more recent vintage. That being said, it's not a bad wine. I mean, for again, I think it's a little over the hill in terms of its potential for fruit and flavor, but it's not bad. I mean, it's well balanced. I think it just doesn't have that fruit and freshness on the front end.
And I think it probably would be a little better with food.
I think some chocolate would go really well with this.
Okay.
And I think some food, maybe a nice. It's a very light-bodied red wine. It could go well with fish or a salad or something. I could definitely see that the fat and the acid in salad dressing helping this out a lot as well. That being said, I mean we do have to rate it.
That's right.
Regardless, if we think it's past its prime or not. What are you sitting at from a rating standpoint here on this one, Jeff?
Maybe about a 2.5.
I was right at 2.5 too.
Okay.
So we're gonna go 2.5. It's a little bit better than a cooking wine. And again, I'm really interested to try the most recent vintage of this, because I think it could be maybe a 3 to 4 bottle rated wine if that freshness was there. I think this wine is just past its prime in terms of its potential to be aged.
Okay.
All right, guys. That is another episode of North Carolina Wine TV. We love your support. Please leave us comments if you have a question. Have you been to Silk Cope Winery? Have you had other wines? Let us know. Teach us, just as we're trying to teach you. Hit us up on Twitter and Facebook and all the fun stuff in the shiny bottles over here. And again, just thanks for all the support.
Pick up your glass.